Hey guys, how's it going today? Hope you're all doing well. A couple days ago, during the tournament, actually, I think, or maybe this was like over the weekend. Who can even remember anymore? It's been a long week. But I finally started kind of looking at my Fire Knight hard team. And I do apologize, this is definitely not a stage 10 guide. That's like some of the hardest content in the game. I personally am not there yet. So yeah, this is for like, halfway through the stages or so, just to get started with that. Unfortunately, I have not come up with like an amazing free-to-play, easy Fire Knight hard 10 team. To my knowledge, nobody has. All the teams are like pretty intense if you're doing 10. And definitely require really good champs, really good stats, and pretty specific strategies as well. So backing up from those, I'm not gonna lie, I've actually been ignoring this for so long. Like, I knew I could do some of the stages, but I didn't think my team would be very fast. So like, I'm not even kidding you. I've been running normal for like all the fusions and tournaments and everything. Don't tell anybody, but yeah, I totally have. But I just figured like, hey, I should work on my team and I should at least be putting myself in a place where I have like a shot at the mythical gear, right? So that's what I've been doing, I guess. So this is what I came up with. Tried several things. I wouldn't really say this is like super accessible or free to play. These, I mean, Epic, this is a fusion, although granted, much RNG, such wow on getting this champion. I only got it recently myself. Free, this is a past fusion, but with past fusions, it's like there are new players coming in. This is a pretty dated fusion at this point. This is about like a year and a half. So quite a bit ago. And then this was also an event, but again, did you have the resources to get him? Blah, 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 etc. So, you guys are surely, at the very least, a little bit familiar with the fight. Basically, what you've got to keep in mind is that when we had like the normal Fire Knight, you were focused on reducing the turn meter. But like all of the hard boss fights, they flip them on its head and they're like, oh no, you can't do this anymore. So now the turn meter is reduced with the freeze mechanic. So that's why I've selected champions like Gnut and Neldor Rimeblade, who's a really, really super cool epic. And then the shield breaking mechanic is still here, right? Still gotta bust through that shield, and ally attack is a popular way to do that. So I have not one, but two ally attackers. I have my homeboy Padraig here. I've got Lady Mikage, and yeah, so some other things to consider, or I guess this is just what I was thinking about when I made it. Because, you have to kind of balance everything, right? So like, I need to break the shield, I need to freeze, but like also, I don't want the waves to take like 6 hours. And so that was kind of my problem when I first started composing teams. I'm like, okay, like we're beating this like absolutely no issues, but these waves are so slow. So my way of dealing with that, I put in Ninja. And the reason I did this for several reasons. First of all, this is a very accessible champ at the moment. As you can see from my champs, there are definitely a lot of not so accessible people that I could have put into this position, but I chose not to do this. Some other things I was thinking about, he has decreased defense on his A1, so that's very nice because I don't have anybody else who places that. So that could be very useful, help me get through waves, get through bosses better. And then something else is that since he's a Shadowkin, he will ally attack with Lady Mikage's A1 like every time. So yeah, now I've got him attacking again. So like if you were going to use my exact team, maybe you could try Ninja, or alternatively like different Shadowkin damage dealer perhaps, if you're trying to get through these waves. Actually, I didn't even try this. Maybe I should have. But something I also like about Ninja is that he has the freeze on the waves. So basically just under no threat on the waves at all. And then, yeah, Neldor's got the freeze, Gnut has the freeze, Gnut has a lot of damage, and I found that, you know, I was just kind of going through them, and this is the point where I got challenged. People kind of started dying during the waves. I mean, funnily enough, like, it still eventually won, but Ninja actually died during, like, the first wave, like, fairly quickly. And then, obviously, the rest of the fight took eternity because of this. But yeah, this is definitely, like, in my opinion, like, huge difficulty ramp up on this stage and then going forward. So, and I found the same when I was doing Spider. Like, I was doing Spider 6 for, like, a very, very long time. So let me show you my Fire Knight 6 team. And then, yeah, Padraig in the lead because he has the dungeon speed aura. That's the best thing I can see. As always, you know, gotta do what's best for you. So let's just see the gang in action. My completely mediocre, not that impressive team. Something I respect about these waves also is that they actually have Skrank, who is my latest favorite champion, you guys, because I got a really good awakening for Skrank when I opened for Freyja, and I was like, yes, Skrank. I don't know why. I was like too excited about it, but I've really enjoyed just being done with Faction Wars and finally feeling like I can just, like, level whatever the heck I want, and I don't have to be, like, not leveling people from, you know, Ogren tribes because I've already finished that. So I like the freedom to just level whatever stupid stuff I'm in the mood for. So Skrank video coming soon. So as you can see, the waves, I mean, they're not super fast. They're not super slow, you know. I'm not really wowing anybody here, but at the same time, I'm not really offending anyone. So that's, you know, keep that in mind with your waves. So again, you can see that literally everybody's frozen, so they're total non-threats. So that's something I liked about my ninja pick. Don't get me wrong, I think you could totally select something better. This is just something I threw together. It's not completely optimized. You know, in a week, maybe it won't look like this, or a month. But you know, with the team, if you have any suggestions, a lot of you are probably familiar with my roster. If you have any suggestions or anything, please let me know. Would love to hear it. Okay, so 18 on the shield. Mikage goes first, open with auto attack. And then Padraig's going to come in also with his ally attack. Now we've actually opened up shield. Neldor has this decreased speed, so you definitely want to get that on. And then he's got the freeze on the A1. Well, it's a potential freeze, not necessarily going to freeze them. As opposed to Gnut, who is definitely going to freeze him. And then, if you guys aren't familiar with this champ, Neldor, something that's also really cool about him is that his passive Cold-Blooded Drive, if an ally does a freeze attack, he might join in on it. So that's why you can see him joining in on the Gnut attacks sometimes. Not all the time. So actually, like, very, very cool champ, basically made for this fight. So definitely, if you have him, gonna be good. He's also got, like, an AoE ability that's pretty good during the waves. Unfortunately, mine doesn't do a terrible lot of damage because you do have to go, you know, very hard on accuracy and speed to be kind of participating in this fight. So, you know, mine's not doing as much damage as maybe I would have liked, but there it is. Okay, so that took me to 50. My best is 226, which I feel like is okay. 226, like, I'm fine with that. 250 sounds a little high, but yeah, it definitely is not always that slow. I wasn't really paying attention that much into what happened. There are a lot of factors to consider, like, you know, maybe Padraig might reduce the cooldown of, like, the Blessed Bash ability. I think that might have happened at some point, resulting in a much better score. Just all sorts of lovely RNG things that we've come to expect in Raid. Oops, sorry guys, I backed out too far there. Okay, so going back in, we'll do the team setup. It would be helpful if I labeled these, don't you think? Maybe next time. So here it is, new team 12. Feel free to come up with a a more interesting title than that, if you like. Like, for example, New Team 13, maybe? Um, but yeah, so hard Fire Knight. Okay, so like I said, I have Padraig in the lead. So round 1, I don't care what anybody does. You can, you guys just be yourselves out there. Round 2, this is where we want to, I want to be prepared for round 3. So I'm saying don't use your ally attack, because if you use that at the wrong time toward the end, we're not going to have it in round 3. Same thing here, don't use that. Aside from that, I don't care what you do. And then everybody else don't care, But then round 3, so we're going to open with our ally attack here. Open with my ally attack here. Don't care, do whatever you want. Like, if he uses the hail burn, it's more hits on the shield, but I don't actually need them on this team. Like, I'm just fine with the 2 auto attacks. The 2 ally attacks, sorry. So, and then Neldor, I said, don't use this one, which is the 4-hitter decrease attack. Depending on what stage you're doing, you may need a quadruple hitter to open the shield, but, for this stage, I do not, so I just turned it off because, I'd rather just have the security of him using his freeze. And then I kept this one on because this is a degree speed, so you want that as well. So really good champ. This is triple hitter, quadruple hitter, double hitter, the passive where he might just join in on a freeze attack. So super, super interesting and cool, epic. Hopefully you guys have him around. And then Gnut, I turned off this ability, apparently. I don't remember doing that. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. I guess, I was just thinking maybe I might need all the freeze. So, these are a little bit variable. They're totally up to you. What's your team? What do you need? How close is it? Like, is his turn meter getting up there? Is it not? Because like you could see in mine, it was never close at all. It was completely fine. So yeah, just that should hopefully give you an idea. And again, everything is just do what's best for you. Did I make any changes to this team? Oh, right, I named it. It's okay. New Team 12 is very catchy. That's fine. Before I forget to mention, these are the current area bonuses that I have in Fire Knight. So I am getting 8% ignore defense and then 4 speed. So nothing crazy, but certainly helps. And if your team needs a little bit of help too, definitely look toward the area bonuses. Unfortunately, they're titled to live arena and I used most of mine on Hydra. So, but yeah, maybe I'll get back up to gold someday and come back around on Fire Knight. Going back into everybody's builds. So this is my Lady Mikage. And this champion, definitely don't blindly copy my build. This is probably one of the most dynamic and variable champions in the entire game. Your build might look completely different depending on what you're trying to do with her. Like, okay, like first of all, this champion is an insanely good PvP champion, but as you guys know, me personally, there is nothing on this planet that I could care less about than raid PvP. So like, I'm not gonna get in there. I'm not gonna compete with the Krakens. I really, I just don't care. Like, I stay in Gold 5 Arena. I used to be in Gold Tag. I've done, the Romantu challenges for Tag, and then I just really don't care. So yeah, again, I mean, this is an insane PvP champ. So if you're doing PvP, your build might look completely different. You might have like Stone Skin. You might have like Relentless is really popular on her. You might have like 9-piece protection. I have 1-piece protection. So, I'm getting close to that 9-piece. But yeah, those are all like good sets on her. I just went like straight up perception. I looked into the perception. I had absolutely nothing good. Or sorry, not the perception. I looked into the protection. I had nothing good. So this is just what I came up with. Should obviously be decently fast. If you're competing in arena, your speed is probably like 200 more than this, or like 150, 100 at the very least. She would have to be super, super fast. Probably more accuracy if you're doing PvP. But me personally, I'm chilling. And then again, if you're doing PvP, your masteries would look very different. You'd probably, you know, come down here, get like your counterattacking. You'd probably have Eagle Eye because you definitely want to remove their buffs and apply your stun and all of this stuff. So yeah, again, like my build, this is all just straight up PvP, not PV, or sorry, oh my god, I'm dying here. My build is straight up PvE. If you're doing PvP, gonna look completely different. And then in typical me fashion, I didn't fill in the blessing yet. Again, if you're doing PvP, it's probably gonna be like the morph, you know, the polymorph. But like me personally, I'm not I'm not putting on polymorph. I hate to say it, I'll probably just do cruelty. I know don't you hate when you have to do cruelty? It's just so boring, but probably me using her in a PvE setting and her being one of my highest awakening levels, yeah, I probably would have to just do the cruelty and be boring like that, you guys. But that's just who I am, and I'll get over it. So here's my dude, Padraig, who's also my other ally attacker from that lineup. I use him in Hydra. I love using him in Hydra. The cleanse is super good. The increased speed, the ally attack. Really good champion. And this build has like no meaning in particular. Like this is just kind of the type of champ that I like to use Relentless on. You know, I want to get through my amazing abilities quicker, so that's not a necessity, but there are a ton of good support sets. Basically, I'm sure he'd also be a candidate for the protection, just straight up speed, since he does not place debuffs at all. You don't need accuracy, so perception is a bit overkill. Masteries on this dude, I went for these two just because you really don't have like, you know, that many attacks. Like you're using buffs, so I didn't think that War Master would get a lot of procs basically. So I got like the extra res. Going War Master is always like fairly solid. Like there's not usually a situation where like it's like, oh my god, it's just literally terrible. So, you know, live your own life, do what you want to do with that. I guess I glossed over my ninja. Again, like I'm just a normal person. I didn't put insane effort into any of these builds. They're all, you know, fine, I guess I would describe them as. So it's fine. Like I got 5k attack. I've got 249 speed because I do use him in Hydra. I want to use my HP burn. Couldn't quite hit it on the crit rate, but I think, you know, the world will probably continue much as it was before. As much crit rate damage as I could. When I use him in a lot of PvE places, I have increased accuracy. But so you might need something quite a bit higher, depending on what you're trying to do there. That's just me. This is the build I went Helm Smasher because he does do a lot of damage. But if you're, you know, just using him in PvE, I also think War Master is completely fine. Nothing wrong with that. Let's see what's up with Gnut. This build is just shameful. It's okay. Just like a standard build. The crit damage could absolutely be bumped up. And in fact, I was trying to roll the gloves and then I just got crippling depression because I rerolled them like so many times. And yeah, so anyway, depression. But the nice thing about this champion is that the Blessed Bash just does so much damage. Like, if you're in Hydra and you have weaken and decreased defense on the heads, 216% damage is more than enough to hit the max HP cap. Like, that's completely fine. So don't stress about it too much. Again, the character's applying freeze. You do need accuracy. And then, yeah, he should be pretty fast because it's a hard dungeon. So keep all this in mind. My last guy is Mr. Neldor. Oh my god, I'm so bad at looking at my blessings. But anyway, so Neldor. All right, so this guy, we were looking at his skills earlier. He's got an AoE attack here. This is like an attack-based champ. You could definitely do a lot of damage, but unfortunately, you know, you need a lot of you need to have a lot of speed, you need to have a lot of accuracy. So if you're just a normal player like me, that will probably result in you not having a lot of crit damage, not having a lot of attack. So I definitely did what I could, but it's only like 50% crit rate and 173% crit damage. So not a lot going on there, but again, just do what you can. You know, I put like a couple cruel pieces on him just to try to help with that a little bit. But yeah, accuracy, speed, always going to be the most important thing here. And I would say Phantom Touch. Yep. If you have like a much higher rank, you could do like Cruelty or something. But again, I was considering putting it on the Mikage, so wouldn't be the most logical blessing for me, but it totally may be for you. Oh yeah, and then also Phantom Touch counts as a hit on the shield, so definitely something to consider if you need that. So that's why that even more so kind of solidified that one for me. And then masteries here, definitely very standard, you know, PvE masteries. Only difference from a lot of people being that he hits 3 times on his own one, and then the powers that be decided that if you hit like 3 or more times on your A1 or your abilities, then you are a better candidate for Giant Slayer than War Master. That's just, you know, someone did like the math on that eternity ago before I even started playing this game, and so that just is the way it is, and I don't really, you know, I've just blindly accepted that the whole time, and everybody else seems to as well, so that's fine. All right, you guys, so that is my first attempt at the Fire Knight Stage 6 team. I know, very, very impressive. I am extremely happy to inform you guys that while I was farming this dungeon, I did get a 6-star mythical flat attack chest in the curing set. So yeah, I mean, gear like that, it's too good. You just can't. The team is just that effective. But as always, guys, thank you for watching. I hope this helped, or, you know, was fun to watch, or at least something. And let me know about all of the terrible flat stat mythical gear that you're now getting in Fire Knight. Thanks, you guys. Take care.